Never stay in room 217 at the Stanley Hotel, unless you're ready to meet its ghostly occupant. Guests who've spent the night there report lights flickering, their luggage mysteriously unpacking itself, and the unmistakable scent of rose perfume lingering in the air. But that's just one room. The entire hotel is alive with spirits, each with their own chilling tale to tell. The Stanley Hotel, perched high in the Colorado Rockies, is a place where history and hauntings intertwine. Its pristine white facade and red roof make it look like something out of a postcard. But step inside, and you might feel a shiver that has nothing to do with the mountain air. Built in 1909 by Freeland Oscar Stanley, yes, the man behind the Stanley steamer automobile, the hotel was intended as a luxurious retreat. What Freeland couldn't have known was that his masterpiece would become one of the most haunted places in America. The story begins with Freeland and Flora Stanley themselves. The couple adored the hotel, pouring their hearts into every detail. After their deaths, it seems they couldn't bear to leave. Freeland is often seen wandering the lobby, dressed in a tailored suit, his presence as commanding as ever. Flora, on the other hand, is more musical. Guests and staff have heard her playing the piano in the ballroom, the melody drifting through the empty halls late at night. But the Stanleys are far from the only spirits here. Room 217, the hotel's most infamous suite, is said to be haunted by the ghost of Elizabeth Wilson, a housekeeper who worked there in the early 1900s. During a severe storm, Elizabeth was lighting lanterns when a gas explosion rocked the room. Miraculously, she survived, but suffered serious injuries. Her loyalty to the hotel must have been unshakable, because she's still there, over a century later. Guests staying in room 217 often report waking up to find their belongings neatly packed or unpacked. Couples have felt an invisible force climbing into bed with them. Some even claim to have seen a spectral figure hovering at the foot of the bed, watching silently. Children's laughter is another common occurrence, echoing down the halls even when no children are staying at the hotel. These ghostly giggles are most often heard on the fourth floor, which used to be the servants' quarters. Guests have also reported seeing small, shadowy figures darting around corners or feeling tiny hands tugging at their clothes. Then there's the grand staircase, known as the Vortex by paranormal investigators. This spiral staircase is believed to be a sort of portal, attracting spirits who wander the hotel. Photographs taken here often reveal strange anomalies, orbs, streaks of light, and even transparent figures. One famous image shows what appears to be a woman in Victorian dress standing at the top of the stairs, her face blurred but unmistakably there. Of course, no discussion of the Stanley Hotel would be complete without mentioning its most famous guest, Stephen King. In the fall of 1974, King and his wife, Tabitha, stayed at the hotel just before it closed for the season. They were the only guests that night, and the isolation left a lasting impression. King had a vivid nightmare about his young son being chased through the hotel's endless corridors by a malevolent force. He woke up, sat in a chair overlooking Estes Park, and began to imagine a story that would become The Shining. While King's tale is fictional, the eerie atmosphere of the Stanley Hotel was very real, and it became the blueprint for the Overlook Hotel. The hotel embraces its haunted reputation, offering nightly ghost tours that delve into its paranormal history. These tours take visitors to some of the most active areas, including the basement, where employees have reported hearing whispers and feeling cold drafts. One guide shared a chilling story about a former employee who quit after seeing a shadowy figure in the basement mirror. The figure wasn't his own reflection, but someone standing directly behind him. When he turned around, no one was there. Another hot spot for activity is the concert hall. Built as a gift for Flora Stanley, it's said to be haunted by two spirits. One is Paul, a former employee who takes his job of enforcing the hotel's 11 p.m. curfew very seriously, even in death. Guests and staff have heard him whispering, "Get out," late at night. The other spirit is Lucy, a young girl believed to have died in the area before the concert hall was built. Lucy's presence is marked by sudden drops in temperature and a playful energy that seems to delight in interacting with visitors. She's even been known to hum along to songs during events. One of the most unsettling stories comes from Room 401, where a ghostly cowboy is said to linger. Guests have reported waking up to find him sitting at the edge of the bed, tipping his hat before vanishing. The room's closet door is also notorious for opening and closing on its own, as if unseen hands are at work. Despite all these eerie encounters, many visitors describe the spirits of the Stanley Hotel as more mischievous than malevolent. They're pranksters, moving items around, tapping on walls, and playing tricks on unsuspecting guests. But that doesn't mean they can't be frightening. Imagine waking up in the dead of night to see a shadowy figure standing by your bed, or hearing footsteps pacing the hallway outside your door when you know you're alone. The Stanley Hotel's unique blend of beauty and terror continues to draw people from all over the world. Some come for the history, others for the paranormal intrigue. But whether you're a skeptic or a believer, there's no denying the hotel's unsettling charm. It's a place where the past refuses to stay buried, where the veil between the living and the dead feels paper-thin. So, would you dare to spend a night at the Stanley Hotel? If you do, keep an eye on the shadows and an ear out for the whispers. Because at the Stanley, the spirits are always watching, always waiting. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel or check out the next video. If you dare.